Bow! What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to the Nick and Mal Show. I am Nick Johnson, one half of the Nick and Mal Show. And to the left of me is my brother from Coram, New York, the GOAT from Long Island. Yo, cut it out, son. They know who you are.
But if you know about corn, you know about corn.
Coram is a beautiful place. But my brother Malcolm Stowe is in the building. We got a special individual in the building. We got two special individuals with the building.
Come on, they both got the same name. Come on.
The best, yeah.
They used to be
best, yeah.
Word. They used to be two big boys over 300 rolling together. Now, now they probably weigh 400 collectively. But I'm actually pretty excited for this interview. Like, personally, I know this gentleman. Like, we all know him. But the dope part about the podcast is that certain people, getting to sit down with them, we actually get to really learn who they are. And I'm really looking forward to learning this individual's background and where his mindset is at and what he got planned for us in the future. Because he's definitely, no pun intended, a very motivational individual. Ladies and gentlemen, Fonz is in the building. Alfonzo Whitehurst. What's good, bro?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Chilling.
Oh, man. Big shout out to FDW right now, man.
I appreciate it. Find the wisdom, you feel me? Make sure y'all tune in.
Definitely tune in. Before we get the show started, this is your first time in New York City.
Yes. First time in New York City. Well, like first and a half. First time I came to New York City, I came straight to the city, went to Yankee Stadium, went to a football game, peeled right back out.
You were at the Pinstripe Bowl?
Yes, sir.
What year and what teams was playing?
Syracuse.
Not sure what year. No.
Was it Syracuse versus West Virginia?
No.
Oh, let's say I went to that game.
No disrespect. I'm a Syracuse native, but I'm not a Syracuse football fan. Okay. Alabama Roll Tide, baby, Roll Tide.
Wait, how do you do that?
Hold on. Let me know what game. Hold on, before we go. What game was you at?
Oh, I was at Boston College, Penn State.
Okay, that was a good game.
One of my best friends go to Boston College as running back.
What year was this?
This was maybe 2.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So 2018.
No funny shit. I think that same game had happened a few years, like when I was in high school. I think I went to that game. Like really? Boston versus Penn State, Penn State Bowl.
Penn State has gone to. I mean, Boston College has gone to Pinstripe Bowl game a lot because it's like an ACC bowl game. So,
okay, makes sense.
Yep.
But how do you feel about the city though? Did you drive or did Ryan drive?
Ryan drove. I
By the way, shout out to Ryan. Ryan is in the building. Did we shout you out?
Hello, everyone. Hello. that boy nervous over there.
All of a sudden, Ryan's shy. I've never seen this dude shy before.
He nervous. I was in the car driving through the city today, though.
No, but Fonz needs to get his brakes done. Facts.
The brakes on the beam is good. They good.
Nah, you gotta have really good brakes when you drive in the city. It's a little reckless.
Or they could just learn how to drive. You know.
Come on, respect.
No. But the thing is, so were you scared to drive out here?
Not scared. I was a little nervous because my roommate at school, shout out Rice Sav, that boy could drive NASCAR if he wanted to. So I seen the way he drove in Utica. I'm like, oh, this Utica, he driving like this. He like, yeah, you gotta learn how to like. You got that opportunity to go, just gotta take it.
You know what's
crazy though? I was thinking this on my way here. Y'all want to know what it feel like to be a running back? That's exactly how I feel. When you go in and out of traffic, that's exactly what a running back be seeing. And that's how he be feeling. So you know how like you get stuck and then you get out there, you break it free?
Yeah.
You like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I finessed it.
That's
how we feel.
I agree with you though, because it's really like an athletic type feeling when you like, oh shit, look how I finessed that. Like in traffic, you really feel like a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, that's a fact. I'm in a big beam now, so I can hit 80. Before running a 4.4, I'm running 80. That bitch ain't moving.
That shit about to stop.
Get behind the wheel. Gotta go.
Come on.
But we need you to drive out of here. You got to do that.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
We're gonna drive out here. We're gonna take advantage of our opportunity. You feel me?
There you go. Yeah, man. So let's get started. Personally, the first thing I want to do in this interview, I want to know who Fonz is, right? Because as a motivational speaker, I feel like a lot of times you just see someone giving you advice or trying to give advice. Yeah. But we want to know who that person is inside there. So first of all, where are you from?
So I'm from Syracuse, New York, right? Born and raised in Syracuse. Grew up. I got 5 siblings, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. But growing up for me was a lot different. I grew up with my grandmother and only my one brother, my one sister. My other brother and sister, they grew up with their dad. Me, my brother and sister that live with my grandma, we all have different fathers. But the road to us living with my grandma, was the different road. So I actually, after birth, I moved in with a family friend of like my grandma's and my mother's. Okay. Her name's Doris. That's my godmom. And I lived with her up until I was 2 years old.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I lived with her till I was 2 years old. And then once I was 2 years old, I moved in with my grandma. But throughout that time, there was just like a lot of things going on, a lot of drugs involved, a lot of just like
who was using drugs?
My grandma, my mom. So that's why I ended up with the family friend.
How is Syracuse though? Like for people that don't know Syracuse, because definitely people like downstate, New York City, Long Island, even out of state. Shout out to our listeners out there. If you think of Syracuse, you only think of Syracuse University. You understand what I'm saying? Or upstate New York Farm and all of that. Like, you talking about your life situation? Is that like normal? What's going on in Syracuse?
So I'll give you a perspective, right? There's Syracuse University in Syracuse. You go down the hill half a block, it's the projects.
Okay.
You go around the corner on the other side of the hill, it's more projects, right? So everywhere around Syracuse is high poverty. Like I'm currently a teacher in the city of Syracuse, and we have one of the highest poverty rates in New York State. Okay. So when you think of Syracuse, everyone's like, Syracuse University. But what you don't see is anywhere around that university is poverty. There is people just trying to make it. People trying to find something that's going to help them make it out of Syracuse.
And how did people, in that situation, I look at it like this. Let's say, how did people get stuck going into Syracuse? Because it amazes me how people get up to, upstate New York and live there. Like, how did people get to Syracuse, and how did that situation happen where you see poverty?
Honestly, I think it's like a way to get out of it, or
no. So what I'm saying is, like, I know in Utica, a big thing people say in Utica is like there's so many prisons.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. People go get locked up there, and then end up having a family up there, and they get stuck up there. Like, what's the deal with Syracuse, or why is there so poverty? Like New York City's understandable. Why is there poverty?
So honestly, there's not a lot of huge businesses in Syracuse. So there used to be a factory that a lot of people worked at in Syracuse. So back in the day, that brought a lot of people to Syracuse. I can't remember what like big business it was, but when that business shut down, we lost all the jobs in Syracuse. Everyone stopped working, and from that point on, that's when like Syracuse just started going down in the dumps. But it's like the suburbs around Syracuse are really nice places, and like if you ever come to Syracuse, you ever want to adventure out, you want to go to the mall, you want to see a nice place, you got to venture outside of Syracuse. So I think the biggest thing for the city of Syracuse is for us to find ways to bring that entertainment back into the city itself. I feel like when we bring the entertainment back into the city and we can get people to work together as one and build each other up and spend our money in our own city, that's when we're going to be most successful. So like 84% of like police and like elected officials in Syracuse do not live in Syracuse.
Big fact.
So the tax money, right? The money that everyone in Syracuse is paying for is going to the suburbs and funding the suburbs. Now you're like, oh, Syracuse, why Syracuse got so much poverty? There's all these people here. There's all these different things. The money's not going back into Syracuse.
People are coming taking money out, and no money is
taking
going
money
back
out,
in.
not coming back. And that's like in a lot of poverty places. People come in, work in, take the money back out, right? And like we've seen it coming in today. We've seen a guy outside laying on the ground, right? And you think about, this is New York City, right? This is a big city. But you see like a lot of people make money here, but where do they live? They live in Staten Island. They live in New Jersey. They live across the border, so they could come in, work, and then the money goes right back out. Mm-hmm. So until all cities that have large poverty numbers, until the money stays in those cities, not much is going to be able to change.
Well, that seems like a catch-22, right? Because people who are making a lot of money, they come to an impoverished community where they have ability to get a good paying job. You don't want to stay there. So naturally, you would end up in suburbs, or New York City people go to New Jersey. Connecticut is right there. Like,
you know why people moved to the suburbs too? Back then, though, it was one governor. He forced white people to move in the suburbs so he could prevent communism when we had the Cold War going on. Yeah.
Oh, shit, I never knew that.
Yeah, bro. They push people out from the city and hoping that prevent communism, the thoughts of communism.
Yeah, but it seems like there's no cure for that, right? Like, if you make money in an impoverished neighborhood, you're not gonna stay there.
So as like a motivational speaker and an educator and a coach, right? All three of my things is, how can I give back to my community, where I work and the people that I work with, right? Of how can I give back to this community? The biggest thing that we're going to be able to do to give back to this community is interact with these people and become part of the community, right? You think about your favorite coaches from Pop Warner all the way up to college, right? Your favorite coaches connected with you on a personal level as a human being, right? And you're part of the community, right? So when you have someone that's making you better, you can better your community, and that person can also feel comfortable to come into the community and help better that community, right? It's like with everything going on over the summer with like the Black Lives Matter and everything. It's like we're over here cheering for the police that are in the community actually doing their job or going out playing basketball. It's like, nah, we shouldn't have to celebrate that. That cop is just doing what he's supposed to get to know his community so he can lower the crime rates. Yet we see a video like that is getting millions of views when that should be the regular.
I agree with you 1,000%. But the fact that it's not the regular is, I guess, where the issue is, right?
Yeah, and that's across the board of any job that works with people or works with the community.
I was saying this while that whole situation was going on. I think there needs to be a budget when a cop gets hired. He needs to go to a certain amount of houses, whether it be 10, 20, 30 within the community that he works in, have dinner, have conversations with these people and get to know them. So when a situation happens and domestic violence call, the cops don't come hostile, right? Maybe they have the guy's phone number like, yo, what's going on? We on our way there right now. Make sure no one is near any weapons or anything like that. Or when the man who might be heated because his girlfriend just got caught cheating or whatever it may be.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I know that cop. He's cool. Let me approach him in a respectful manner. He approaches me in a respectful manner. And I think it'll just make community policing that much better.
Oh, for a fact. The biggest thing is like, we sit around and we all think we need this huge plan, this 20-page PowerPoint, and it just comes down to like mutual respect, right? Yes. You got to see and you have to realize that like when you look at a lot of the poverty areas, a lot of these homes don't have two parents, right? It either has a mother 90% of the time or just a dad or very slim mother and a father, right? So now you get someone who's coming from a two-family home sometimes that end up making it to be officers, or you get like the officers that came from that same background that like some of the people they work with, so they understand the community more and how to relate to the community and like how to break things down. So if you never learn how to actually break these things down and how to interact with like people in the environment you're working with, then any situation you go into, I don't care how much respect the other person has, is always going to be hostile. Like, because you don't know how to interact with this person. It's like if you take me, for instance, I'll go in any environment and I can read the environment, but I'm going to be myself because I think I've been exposed to, like, I grew up in Syracuse, but also was able to go to a very, WPI school, right?
What does that mean?
Like white institution.
Okay.
Right? Predominantly white institution. So I was able to see both spectrums of being dirt poor, being called dirty, fat, this and that, but also being able to go be in multi-million-dollar homes, right? So it's like when you get exposed to that, these are the people you want to like surround yourself around, and these are the people that you want to learn from. So now I can bring my culture, my part of me, give it to this person, give it to that person, and we all are making each other better, right? So now when we get those people into being like police or elected officials, they have more of a background of everything around them rather than just a strong background here and studied the other background. To me personally, I don't care how much you can read of a book. If you never experienced it, it doesn't matter what you know in that book. Like me, myself, I finished regular undergrad with a 2.8 degree. But personally, you could put me up against any 4.0 student and I'll out-debate them. I'll outsmart them any day. Only thing they could be better than me is reading that book. But I can tell you, I'm gonna give you more experience and more life.
Let your nuts hang. Let your nuts hang, big dog.
So that GPA don't mean nothing. It's about your life experiences, because we all know people that are book smart or well educated, but they can't talk to a wall.
No, that's a fact. And you talking about experience too is so important, because my first year as being a teacher assistant. Shout out to all the teachers and teacher assistants out there. Anyone working in the school, but we did a career day right for elementary school, and there was a CO there, bro. A white CO, and bro, I'm not kid you not, bro. He was like shocked to see a black dude that looked nice, bro. I kid you not, bro. We caught eye contact. His eyes went like this, and like he was staring at me. Like he'll talk to the kids and staring at me. Like he was just so shocked that black people do this, and that's because being a CEO, what are you around majority of the time? Especially in Long Island. The motherfuckers in the system is a whole bunch of minorities, Hispanics, and blacks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking about the exact same thing. So I work in a hospital right now. It was this lady who stabbed the guy, right? And I'm a sitter. So literally what I do is people like that are at risk for leaving, or maybe it's a 9-year-old lady who might get up and fall. I just have to sit down and watch him. I get paid very well for doing it. It's a great job. You feel me? But no, for real, bro.
I get paid. People watch.
Bro, no, Guala know what I do.
Yeah.
I showed Ant. I was on FaceTime with Ant, bro. I literally get paid to sit down, be on my laptop, or do whatever. That's literally what I paid for. But the cop was there, and then I had to ask him. I'm like, because I know a lot of people have, in my family, a lot of people have experiences going to prison. And I was thinking it from his perspective. I'm not even going to tell the story because the female cop who was there before said some racist shit. I don't even want to repeat it. Yeah. But that got my mind thinking like, yo, where are these people's heads at? And it's that exact point. Like being a CO and you're in prison, and I hold this personal to myself because I have dreads. I'm a big guy. That probably, I don't know if it's wrong to say, that probably fits a large population of men in prison. So when that cop sees me, it's low-key hard for him to see me as a person and not as an inmate.
Yeah. Right. That just shows the example of product of your environment. Sadly. That's though. It's the bad version of product of environment. Bro, as soon as you see a black person, you automatically think what you deal with every day as a black person. Think about this, what the media portrays too.
So with that being said, should I have to, or should black men in general have to alter the way they present themselves and look? Or is it not on us?
Not to jump in, but I just feel like the best way that you can
you get closer to the mic.
Yeah, the best way that you should be able to make change in the world is you got to educate people. And say you when you go to that multi-million-dollar home, the only way that people are gonna understand you and respect you is just show you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be a certain skin color, but I'm a human too. I act this way. I understand how to act. Yes. You're not gonna treat me differently because you don't think because my skin color. No, I know how to act, and our people know how to act too. You're not gonna just.
It's just that we have
people are naive, bro. Yes. They're not educated.
And I said that the in our generation, the best thing any black person could do, especially a black man, is be a good representation of black men.
That's a fact. Yes. But a big thing, what also plays into it, I feel like, is bro, it's our culture, bro. Like we in the music industry heavy. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. So we idolize those people easily, but that doesn't show who that person is at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? Because a teenager at the end of the day is going to dress how he see what the rappers see on TV. Yep. You understand what I'm saying? But yet again, that don't determine who he is as a person.
No. Yeah. You definitely have to continue to be yourself and bring your culture to whatever job you do, but be able to also show that you can be just as effective, right? A lot of things in life, people just do what works. Mm-hmm. Some people have the persona in their head of that's how they already think of me. I'm just going to do that anyway. If they already going to think it. No, you got to be like, all right, what's going to be most effective and what's going to help me be most successful as I portray myself like this, right? So as a PE teacher and as a coach, I dress the same way as if I was going to come hang out with my boys. I wear J's, I wear Yeezys, I wear shorts with a hoodie, and I go to school with my dually on in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a savage. I respect
it. But it's but teachers could walk in with hats on.
That's a fact.
Why can't I walk in with my silky, right? So what's the difference? When I get to my office, I'm going to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm just wearing it to school.
Fonz, I do the same thing.
I'm not gonna change who I am, right? But when it's time for me to be the professional Fonz and flip the switch, I'm gonna hit you with it. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna go from, oh wow, I had that notion in my head of another black guy with a silky to, oh damn, he just took me away. Mm-hmm. He just educated me. That's right, and that's what we have to do as African Americans. We have to be 100% ourselves. Don't change for shit. Don't change for nobody. Be yourself. But then when someone start talking shit to you, educate their ass like no other.
Mm-hmm. But do you think you could break the barrier if you're yourself, like to like say a white family?
Yes.
By being yourself, like you could walk like for example, like I've like growing up, I've white school, white like surrounded by white people, dated white girls. I feel like if it's like, say Chad would go to his girlfriend's house and wear a t-shirt, I could never go to meet a family with a t-shirt on. I would have to wear a dress shirt and nice pants to introduce myself. Like if I wanted to wear a t-shirt, that's me being myself. But I feel like I couldn't do that. Like that's, you got to break the barrier down. Otherwise people are not going to see you on that level.
I definitely understand what you're saying, but I definitely understand that like if you have to put up a fake persona,
you shouldn't be in that situation.
You shouldn't be in that situation, and they're gonna expect you every time now to be in a dress shirt and dressed up.
But how do you change people though?
Yeah, you can't really change people. You just have to be yourself. But also, like you were just saying, you have to educate people, and you gotta have those strong conversations.
People are gonna adapt to you. Like in a situation, I would say like, yeah, you gonna have to wear that dress shirt, but eventually it's like, yo, this is me, and you gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. You understand what I'm saying? Like as long as you're taking care of the lady good, I'm pretty sure the parents wouldn't even care at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Being from Trinidad, I don't know. I feel like I have a different view of it because, like, you and Ryan, I mean, all three of you guys, because Malcolm's from Long Island, where it's majority white people. You have basically white family and your black side. Ryan, your mom is white, right?
Yeah, my mom's white.
So you guys kind of know how to toe that line. So me coming from Trinidad, I never met a white person until I was 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Malcolm knows, like, I feel like I still have yet to find that balance. I try to be myself in front of white people, but it's like it's hard for me to do it. Like, naturally, I want to change the way I talk, change the way I act a little bit. And it's something that's kind of uncontrollable. I don't know what it is. And I feel like a lot of kids from the hood have that same experience where they're not around white people and they or only see them portrayed on TV, and then they get close to them and they unfortunately change the way they act.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel uncomfortable when you're put into those situations?
No, not uncomfortable at all, but I feel fake sometimes.
Wait, what situation? Sorry.
Like when he's put into situations with like Caucasian or
I'm not uncomfortable. I'm very comfortable. Because I went to Utica College, and I thank God for that experience of being around a lot of white people. But sometimes I'm like, nigga, you wouldn't have said that if you was in the hood. You feel me? Like, yo, like a white girl ever walk by you, hi, and you hi back. Like, that's not true. Like, what are you doing?
I think it's just you're just adapting to the environment that you're in at that moment.
Because if a Spanish girl go hola, you're gonna say hola too.
Say,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Boy, don't know another word.
What's up with that guapito?
Hola, como está, mami? She say something back, boy, you're gonna start scratching his hand.
Like, I'm Dominican. That's what Ryan be pulling.
Yeah. But I think that whole conversation we just had was just like proved as a black man, it's very hard to maneuver. Not hard, but I think that the blueprint is still to be set of how we should maneuver in society. Because as you're saying, you shouldn't change yourself at all. But Ryan is stating the fact that, yo, it's kind of uncomfortable if you don't. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So
me personally, I feel like as a black community as a whole, the change is coming like right now, and it's happening in our face and everything. You could like, I don't know. I was thinking this too. Like some people really think like Biden is coming to save us. It's not even Biden, bro. It's people like Earn Your Leisure, Master P, all these big business people. Rashad Bilal even said, he said, like, you know how rappers are the big marketers now. It's gonna be the entrepreneurs that are gonna be the big marketers. People are gonna see these people. These are the people that are changing how the black community is really portrayed. Like, motherfuckers is in here talking about the stock market. I'm pretty sure, like, black people 20 years ago was not talking about no damn stock market. You understand what I'm saying? And that whole role's gonna switch. Like, the civil rights ever wasn't about ownership or anything. I forgot the gentleman. There was one gentleman, when they boycotted the buses, There's a black dude. It got the prices to buy the transportation line was so cheap. He's like, let's buy it. The people in the civil rights was like, no, that's not an ideal of having ownership. What's the ideal ownership is happening now? You know what I'm saying? Perfect example, I'm gonna use Master P. He got rap snacks. You know what I'm saying? Like him and his team is 3 black dudes, but it's like, yo, he's telling Master P telling people like, yo, you could go have your own manufacturing firm to manufacture, create rap stacks.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like it's happening now. It's late. And like some people still uneducated, but the phase of like
why you say it's late? Why you say it's late?
Because it was supposed to happen in the 1960s, but when people get assassinated, like JFK, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, you wipe out the great black leaders. Fred Hampton, shout out to
I feel like
Judas
even
and the Black Messiah movies came out yesterday.
But, I feel like those guys, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King wasn't very like ownership based. Were they?
That's why they assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King, bro, because he's about to have people in front of the White House. Everyone, homeless people, white people, black people, Hispanics, anyone in front of the White House. And Dr. Martin Luther King was like, yo, you need to go get these people housing. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and he talked about ownership. Malcolm X was all about ownership too. But when you assassinate, and who had to push it? White people. So that's why JFK and his brother Robert allowed the first black to go to Ole Miss, right? The governor there wasn't gonna allow it. JFK was pushing Thurgood Marshall, all those people to be in senates and all of that. So when you assassinate those people, when you lose a leader, come on, what's gonna happen?
In Black History Month, should we give a shout out to all the white people that were a big ally in the empowerment of black people?
For a fact, because like
yeah, go ahead.
What are you gonna say? You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like white or black is not a thing. It's about what you're talking about.
Or what you did,
like
right?
Yeah. I feel like it should be a month of who really helped who, right? Whether it was a Indian, a white, another black person helping another black person. I feel like it should be a month where we put a lot of African American people show what they actually did, but actually show their support group, right? Yeah. Because all of us, without our support group, we're nothing. Right? And I'll say, my roommate, I have 2 white roommates, right? And obviously I have Finding Wisdom. You guys have Nick and Mel. Ryan and Ant got Clean Your System. Zay got Built by Zay. Nicodemus got Gamble Athletics. Like, Quez is a singer. Juwan is a rapper. Carl is a rapper, right? And my roommate legit he said, yo, man, you guys support the shit out of each other. Like, all I see on you guys' stories and feeds is all you guys promoting and supporting each other. He said, I don't even see that, like, at my own frat and things, right? So without us supporting each other and showing each other, like, yo, we could really do this no matter how many followers, how low we are right now, that we always got support in our corner, and that's what keeps us going. Because at the end of the day, money means so much, but the support and why you do something is what's going to carry us the farthest in life. Why you do it is the biggest thing in life, and it's what's going to bring us to be most successful.
I like that you said that. I like that you said that, Fonz. I ain't gonna lie. You just up my game. You just up my game, Fonz. You just up my games, Fonz. I mean, but respectfully, that right there was a gem, man. I appreciate that.
But we expect that out of you. You're a motivational speaker, so I feel like you know what I mean. You're doing the right thing because you have those different insights. Let's get back to your childhood. You kind of get off the rails, but that's a good thing. So you were born. You moved in with your grandmother, and then you moved in with a friend. A family friend. Yeah. Because there were drug use in the household. What was that like?
So honestly, growing up, overall, I grew up in Syracuse, like I said before. But me, my brother, my sister, and my grandma, we all lived together majority of our life. We moved 18 times. We lived in 2 family homes. We lived in 1 family bedroom, 2 family bedroom. Bro, we lived at the Salvation Army at one point. So these are different things that we've overcome. We've lived at family friends' houses all together, right? But these are all things of along the way that me seeing these different changes and being able to change on the fly. Like, the biggest thing is one day I'm coming home from school, right? And no, we went on vacation. We came back home. we living in the project buildings. We went on vacation. When we come back, our house is broken into. House is fucked up. We'd flick on the lights. I'm like, oh shit. Our grandma sees it. Closed the door. Said, all right, we'll be back. Went to our aunt's house. We never went back to that house. Next day we're living with our aunt. Right? She also have kids of her own. Now it's like, all right, now we're moving again. Right? And then we're moving again. But I feel like moving so many times and not really having much, and like I'll say my first pair of old schools, Air Forces, was in 5th grade, right? That was the first time I really got a new pair of sneakers that wasn't hand-me-downs or not from the thrift shop. And I felt like the man. I'm like, I'm about to throw on this new fit that got this fresh new shirt from the thrift store, throw a new pair of shorts and the sneakers, right? And I get to school, niggas like, oh, you dirty, those too small. Who the fuck got gray Forces, right? So growing up the way I did, people always gonna talk shit. So I'm like, I gotta learn how to talk shit if I'm gonna hold my own. Yeah. So we was ribbing. That's what we call them in Syracuse. We ribbing. Niggas is ribbing now. So you get used to being called fat, stink, dirty all your life. That's why I love talking shit nowadays. Right? So growing up like that, so a lot of people, you may think of it like, damn, you moved 18 times. You've lived in 1 bedrooms. You've lived with roaches, rats. Like, you go to Syracuse right now, half the houses I lived in have been knocked down because they were that disgusting. One house we had to move out because in 1 week we found 42 rats. 42 rats. 42.
Nigga, that's
throughout the whole
stuff.
building?
In your crib?
In the crib.
Nigga, that's worse than the New York City subway, bro.
But like not like big rats. Like, I guess like mice.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. 42, bro. It's like, so now
did you know you was different as a kid though? Like having that type of coming up at that age, did you know you were different, or did you think like, yo, everyone life's is fucked up? Personally, like from Trinidad, I didn't know. I was from a third world country.
Yeah.
I thought having to go get a bucket of water in the back to shower was life. Nigga, let's go get some water and shower.
Yeah. So at the time, I didn't realize like how different it was. Like I knew it was different. Like, bro, this is kind of dirty, but this is real life. Right. Bro, the best Lucky Charms you could get is Cheerios and coffee creamer.
Wait, hold on.
That's not dirty, but that was our breakfast sometimes. Cheerios with coffee creamer would mix with it a little water. Lucky Charms, boy. Lucky Charms. It's the best out there.
Haiti, son. Then they used to put rocks in a pot. And they would boil the pot and get a little ocean water and the sodium. That's what they would drink to survive, bro.
What?
Shit.
Yeah.
You talking about creamer and Lucky Charms? That's a gourmet meal.
Yeah. Nigga, you had creamer?
Nigga had rocks. We had a big boulder for lunch.
Yeah. But your dad a lot older than I am.
Yeah, he's from Haiti.
He took the boat over.
Think shit.
No English, $20.
I was on
20. Your dad really came over on a boat for $20.
You know where my dad's at right now? He's in Florida right now on the beach, sitting in the sand with a white wife, rich as hell, doing nothing.
And why? Because
hard working, bro. My dad says he's like if my dad would see that nigga on the street, he'd be like, unless he doesn't have a disability and there's something wrong with him, there's no reason for him to be on the streets.
Really? That's a fact.
My dad came to the United States speaking no English, bro.
What? How?
$20.
How was it to grow up in a household with someone who came from nothing like that have everything that he would ever want?
I mean, we didn't always have everything. Like it was like in the beginning.
Okay.
But say your question one more time. I'm sorry.
Someone like that who literally have been at the lowest, and now he has, as you said, in a beach in Florida with his wife. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have a nice house or whatever. Like, what type of lessons did he teach you growing up?
I mean, bro, like I understand both sides of the spectrum. Like I got my ass whooped as a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to kneel on rice when I got punished. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I had to go to therapy if I'm having a bad day.
That's
no,
why you
my
got
dad
no
would whoop my
meniscus
ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're just taught hard work. Like, you understand that, like, yeah, you can have this life, but you got to work for it. You're not going to get shit given to you.
Yeah, that's a fact. But that's also why, for Find the Wisdom, shout out Find the Wisdom, but that's why my quote that I live by is let your obstacles shape your future. Right? And when you think about that, you gotta really pause, because you could just read it, let your obstacles shape your future. But now when you think about it, it's like, damn, Ryan's dad came over on a boat for 20 cash. 20 cash is is play money for him now, right?
Come on.
I grew up moving 18 times, right? Not eating nothing. It took me 3 years to save up for my first car. That was only $2,000. I got a Beamer now, right?
Let's go.
I left the city school of Syracuse at Corcoran High School with a 68 average. I have a master's degree now.
Come on.
Right? I became New York State first year teacher of the year. I'm not even a certified teacher yet.
Yo, we really need a Dr.
Come get you. So it's like you got to let your obstacles shape your future.
Real, bro.
The things you go through, the things that happen in your life, you got to use those as lessons. And I'm not saying that everyone is soft or weak-minded, but a lot of times people dwell on the things that happen to them instead of looking at that shit like, I don't ever want to fucking go back to that. I will never allow people around me to go to that. And I'm going to help people around me that I made it out, and we're going to make it out together. And if you ain't on this train, nigga, you getting left.
You left.
Yo,
You're getting left. You got to keep moving.
My pops used to shovel coal at the bottom of a boat, bro, for 12 hours a day, like on some slave shit. And now my dad, he will not pick his finger up for nothing. He pays people to do his work, bro.
Well, quick question, Alpha. What does your father do now?
Right now, he's retired. He hasn't worked for the last 12 years.
What was he doing before?
He has a drug
He worked at
operation out
Home
of
Depot
Little
on
Haiti.
receiving, bro.
Oh wow.
He just worked hard, saved his money, invested properly. And my mom, she worked for the state. She got a pension. They just chilling, though. They don't do nothing. Their biggest worry about the day is what doctor's appointment they have to go to. I swear to God, they be complaining.
Do they enjoy that though?
Yeah, like they don't do shit. They fucking enjoy good food and hang out. They drink. They in Florida. They enjoy their life.
Are you the only child?
I got an older brother.
Okay. Oh, it's two of y'all.
Yeah.
So look, life lesson, people. Don't have 2+ kids.
That can't be a life lesson. I want to have a lot of kids.
Nigga, you gotta have a lot of fun. That's a fact, though.
But just don't be a bitch. Work hard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
in that work.
Yeah. You could do whatever you want. You can have 15 kids. As long as you work hard, you can pay for them.
Yeah, all right. But a full child, nigga, the first child go to college, you be like, yo, what the fuck, son?
That boy
My dick fell off after the first child. Damn.
You ain't investing in the stock. You invested in the school bus at that point.
By the way, shout out to the. Let me see the Jameson. Let me show the people what we fucking with right now. It's not as good as Proper 12, but it'll get the job
Nah, I
done.
ain't gonna lie. This shit 10 times better. This shit
You like
sweet.
it more than Proper 12?
Yo, this
Sweet,
Irish
boy.
whiskey, bro, with some ginger ale. Oh my God.
That's
Change
smooth.
your life.
Now, I'm about to sip this Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come on.
That boy said, ain't nothing wrong.
Who needs some more? Who needs some
Come
more?
on, fuck it. Let's get right.
Come on.
Oh, you want some more?
Wait, Ryan, we know this is not your interview, but tomorrow, Valentine's Day. You got a Valentine's?
I do have a Valentine, yeah.
I'm gonna start
HQ
dancing
Entertainment
like
is just
Pop
about food and fun now. No more naked pictures.
What? Oh, so it's completely. I might unfollow you now.
No. Come on, bro. My food page is gonna
But
be
yo,
alright.
you fucking with the food. I see it. I love it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a big foodie guy.
Yeah, I love
so,
food,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying? So we not too far from each other. Nick and Mal Show, HQ Entertainment.
Y'all trying to do a
foodie
little cooking
shit.
episode?
Let's mash it up.
Cookie episode.
We could do that for your interview. We
Let's
do
do
the
it,
interview
yeah.
and have a.
Set a whole day.
All I do, I be on YouTube just watching cookie videos. If people think I know how to cook, I don't know how to fucking cook. I watch the YouTube, all the grandmas. I don't ever watch like a little white dude or a little white lady or a little black lady. No, I watch the grandmas, the grandpas, the old people that be in the kitchen.
Mama
and
T?
Who's that?
YouTube really killed cooking, didn't it?
YouTube could change your life.
Piff even said it. Piff knew, bro. Piff Marley do had it on the show. Never played basketball in his life, bro. Has a video of him shooting 40-something threes. Said he learned how to shoot from YouTube. Nigga, what?
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
I think YouTube really fucked up cooking because now I don't respect nobody that cook. It's like, nigga, you could have watched that shit on YouTube.
but look what he watching though. That's why he not watching the new people. He watching the
I
old
went from
people.
like 200 people viewing my stories to like 500, 550 people viewing my stories, and I'll get like 100 shares. Or I post food and shit, or like ass cheeks on my shit. Yeah, I'll get mad shares. Like that's how I got all my followers and shit.
Come on.
But how long you and your girl been together?
So we've been friends. We've been really good friends and been talking since we were like 14.
Shout out to the Jameson.
Shout out.
Yeah. So we just started getting serious like a couple weeks ago.
Wait, hold on. What's your name on Twitter again?
Ryan Joseph, but my shit HQ Entertainment.
Okay.
HQ Entertainment. But people be like, what's HQ mean? HQ is headquarters because everyone comes to my house like this. Like when we be like, oh, we're meeting at HQ. We're going to HQ's crib.
You know what HQ mean, motherfucker?
Yeah, HQ is that nigga, bro.
Getting treachy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shout out to Jameson and HQ.
Shout out to Jameson and HQ. That's feeling nice
They
right
need
now.
to sponsor me.
Come on.
Word,
We gonna get the
work on
sponsorship.
that.
Yo, we gonna get that shit going. You know what I'm saying? You connected with the right
It's in
people.
about, yeah.
It's a
Word.
vibe.
But Fonz, you was dropping the gems earlier.
Yes,
before we even got to the questions.
All right. We always got more.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You got so much gems.
It's on the hoodie.
Sign a hoodie.
FTW.
Find the wisdom.
Find the wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us how that came about.
So, honestly, I've always felt like, so I'll be honest. I've never been a team captain for any team I've ever played on, right? But I've always had people come to me for advice and tell me how much I mean to them and like what I said or what I did for them meant a lot, right? So I've always had in my mind and felt like, all right, maybe the things that I say and do really move people. And I've always been one of, I've never really told people my life story. I'm like, all right, they're either gonna like me for Fonz of who I am and not where I came from. Because where I came from, that shit don't really matter to you. You're either gonna feel sorry for me and want to be my friend or some other bullshit. So I want you to fall in love with who I am. So that's why after a while of being at Utica and having like younger people under me and working with a lot of kids and like people getting surveys and things back of like, oh, Fonz is so strict, but he's so fun, he's so nice. And I'm like, damn, I'm really moving people. And I've always enjoyed listening to motivational speakers like E.T., Les Brown, right? And more recently, like Gary V. And these are...
Don't forget Inky Johnson.
Yeah, Inky Johnson,
Come
too.
on.
Are you familiar with Jordan Peterson?
Not really. So, one day, it's crazy. It sounds weird, but I came up with the final idea that I'm going to start finding wisdom in the woods. So not a lot of people know this about me, but I'm a camp counselor in the Adirondacks every year from June to August, right? And that put me out of my comfort zone. Boy, I don't like deer. I don't like none of the animals, none of the bugs. Yeah, I'm in the woods secluded from society every year, right? So what's that doing for me? That's taking me outside of my comfort zone, but also pushed me to like be a different person. Because when we're up there, there's no cell phones, there's no nothing. So I really get time to like really take in nature and understand who I really am. And so this past summer, with quarantine, the summer camp we couldn't have kids, but we were allowed to have families come. And I started talking to this one lady who's an art teacher in Philly. I can't even remember her name. And she asked me about who I was and like what I do, because I'm the only one up there teaching archery. So we start talking, and we ended up in a 45-minute conversation. And at the end of our conversation, she looked at me and said, "Have you ever thought about being a motivational speaker?" I was like, "Yeah, I have, but like, I just not really sure what to do about it." She was like, "From just our 45-minute conversation, I could see your passion for people and for talking. You should definitely look into it." And from there, I went back to my cabin, and like, since we don't got no internet, I just started writing down different things that like really mean a lot to me. And before I came up with Find the Wisdom, my biggest thing in life was there's a positive in every negative. No matter how bad the situation is, there's a lesson that you can learn from that can help you grow in life. And my biggest thing in life growing up is I'm going to take something from every single person I come in contact with, whether they're rich, poor, broke, millionaire, right? Because all those people have done something or been through something in life that's going to give me something to help polish my life to be a better person. I don't care if that man out there is sleeping. He had a life at one point, right? So his life journey can help me better my life journey of what I can do to better someone else. And if I can take my story and help move someone else along with the gems I learned from other people, that's the best advice you can ever give in life. Sometimes a lot of people think they're too good or they already have everything figured out, and that's why they fall by the wayside, because they're not taking in what everyone tells them, but they also forget that person was a human at one point. They still are human, but they've had a life story. there's a reason why they got to this point right now, but you can also help change their life. Just what you've learned and the wisdom you have. And wisdom, if you look up the definition, it's all about experience. So when you take, there's a positive and every negative, the wisdom is the experience, right? So it's find the wisdom. The wisdom, you've already had the experience. Now you got to find it. You got to find the lesson. You got to find the lesson in every experience that you've had. So that's why you got to find the wisdom. We've all had experiences. No, I don't care who's out there listening right now. You have experience in your life, whether your parents done a lot for you or you're doing something on your own. Your story, it doesn't even have to be like my story, can help change someone else's life.
Do you think that adds to the effect of being an effective motivational speaker? The fact that you did have a tough upbringing? For example, I know you mentioned the David Goggins book. He's a motivational motherfucker, right? But you look at his childhood, you understand why.
For a fact. Because so shout out David Goggins. That man is unbelievable. He's had a different mindset. He's trained his mind and really powered himself up, right? So he talks about his childhood. Like when he was growing up, it all starts off like realistically when he's like 6 years old. And he talks about how his father has always been very abusive to him and his family, right? But they own this big place in Buffalo, right? And,
a lot of famous people used to come there. I think that OJ was always
James
there.
Brown, everybody in there, right? And his family run. So it's like, family run, money coming in for the family. But his dad was selfish. His mom, he used to beat his mom, yell at his mom. They used to sleep in the office. While his dad downstairs partying, cheating on his mother. While his mother is in the building watching everything go down, cleaning, so this man could continue to make money.
She came in and caught him, and he beat her for catching him.
Yes. Like, who does that?
Evil motherfucker.
And David watched it happen. He sits there and watch his mother get beat, right? So when you're at a young age, what takes us back to poverty, right, is you see all these things happen at such a young age. You start to train your mind of you have to grow up and you have to figure out ways that you can help, right? So he's like, his main thing is, how can I help my mother, right? He's sick of seeing it. He's sick of like watching his mother go through those things. So he's like, all right, we're going to figure out a way that we can get out. So shout out to their neighbor. I forgot her name, but their neighbor really set them up to be able to get out. His mom's like, the neighbor spoke to David's mom. She's like, all right, like he will never let you get a credit card. You gotta have him fall in love with you again and trust you. That way he could give you a credit card in your own name, right? So his mom starts sucking up, giving in to every little thing he wants, right? So David's dad in it for the money and the attention. Mom starts feeding him this attention, right? So now she's milking it up. Now, pot that boy for a real one. Fonz! And she got that credit card in her own name, right? So what did she have to do? She had to set herself up for success, right? A lot of people, you don't realize that, like, you got to do the shit you don't want to do to really set yourself up. She sucked up to a man that's beating her every day. That way she could finally get a credit card so she could have money in her own name. So she's doing all this work and wasn't making no money in her own name because dad didn't trust her, right? So he got her. She got his trust. She got his love back. Oh yeah, baby, signed off on it. Now they could leave. They got home one day. Dad started wilding out. She said, "I'm leaving." He's like, "No, you're not." But little did he know, he forgot he signed off and gave her money now, right? Because he's so caught up in everything else that he doing. He wasn't jacking it. All right, we out. Dave, his mom, everybody left, right? So his dad, businessman, got multiple cars. See that she really leaving. So this nigga like, oh, I gotta chase her. So they get down the street, but she already had a plan. They went to the neighbor's house and waited for David's dad to like get out and try to go find them. But little do they know, they watching his every move. They watch him leave the crib. They watch him drive down the long road and trying to figure out where they went. And when he went back to the house, they went on to their journey to Indiana to David's mom's house, where they were able to kind of start over again. But just a lot of things just continue to happen. So when you think about these things as a youngster, right, you're like, wow, this is a lot going on for a 6-year-old. But he understands everything that's going on because he's experiencing so much.
He had to grow up quick.
He had to grow up. So he's 6 years old, already with a mind of a 16-year-old, right? And my biggest thing is that was like the same thing for me, right? I'm seeing all these things at such a young age. I had to train my mind of like, yo, I have to be older and think older than what I actually am. That's why, like, my main thing is I hate when people call drug dealers or people that get arrested dumb, right? You get drug dealers that's breaking down things to the gram, to the kilo, to the pound.
Talk to him.
With math in milliseconds.
Talk to him.
Right? You can bring any drug dealer outside in right now. How much can I get for an eighth? Right? He sell 5 eighths in a day. He get a kilo. He gonna tell you how much money he gonna make, how much he gonna profit, how much he need to flip it. Right? But that nigga dumb.
Mm-hmm. Not dumb at all.
This nigga doing algebra with no print. Algebra with no print.
Talk to him, Fonz.
Algebra with no print, but society will say these people are dumb. Their decisions of how they have to make it out are dumb.
I don't even know. But look, right? New York is struggling right now to have money because a lot of people are leaving. What do they do? They legalize weed. They essentially started selling an illegal drug because they was broke, which is exactly what niggas in the hood do. Yeah. I'm broke, so I'm going to sell a illegal drug. I think it's just natural. It's not even, you know what I mean, a dumb decision.
I feel like I'm not saying it's really a dumb decision. It's just like,
you know, there's going to be...
there's repercussions that come with it because obviously New York hasn't chosen to fully legalize it everywhere yet.
Yeah.
Let me ask you...
Jersey legalized it, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, technically it's not even legal in Jersey yet. A lot of people are still getting arrested. Okay. So it's so weird, and that's why a lot of people hate the governor of New Jersey. It's legal, but they're literally fighting in Congress right now about if you're under 21, should you be arrested for it or administered a ticket? So they have enough, No, that's not a goal. But literally for that reason, they haven't fully legalized it yet, basically.
Yeah.
But the question I was going to ask you is, right, so David Goggins, so he's in that situation, and he has to grow up. You have to grow up early. Me and Malcolm just read chapter 48 Laws of Power, and one of the things it says that victory could sometimes be the worst thing that happens to you because you lose sight of actual life. You lose sight of how hard things can be. And personally for myself, I was telling people I had the perfect childhood. Like, I couldn't even relate to your story, right? My dad used to sell drugs and stuff, but I had such a big family around me. I wasn't even around my dad. You feel me? I was sheltered from that even. I wasn't even allowed to go to his house.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I feel like when I look at someone like you or someone like David Goggins at my age, you guys are a lot more responsible than me. You just embody the idea of responsibility from a man from a younger age. And you were saying that you got to find the positive in everything that happens to you. Is that one of the things that you really appreciate about your upbringing? Is that it taught you how to be a man early?
So realistically, I see how you say that it teach me how to be a man early, right? So I didn't have father figures until later on in life, till I really got into sports. My grandma brought me up, but if you ever met my grandma, tomboy, she got scars on her face. She used to be in the hood scrapping.
She a gangster?
Yeah, she'd beat the motherfucker up.
Shout out to G-Mom.
Yeah, shout out to Grandma Carr, Mary Carr. She really one of a kind, right? But my grandma, right, like I was saying earlier, she was caught up in the drugs, right? And the different things that could affect her life. But she instilled in me of never judge a person for who they are and always advocate for yourself and care for all people, right? And when you think about life, that kind of goes with being a man, right? But man, you gotta care for your family, right? You can't really judge others because at some point you could be a coach for your kids, right? You want to instill in your kids how to be the best version of themselves. And so for me, honestly, I think my grandma did a great job of raising me as how to become a man, of just instilling in me the values and morals of life, right? I feel like, yes, it's very hard to like have some conversations like when you grow up because you've never had a father figure. But I feel like if you can get those moral values from your mother or whoever is bringing you up, that you can shape into the best man that you can be, because you want to be someone that could be there for your mother, be there for your sister, be there for your aunt, because you've seen the struggle they went through, right? And shout out to all the single mothers out there, because it's you never see a single mother give up.
Never.
It don't matter how hard it get. They will make sure that they do anything for their kids, right? And a big thing that I've realized is a single mother will do anything for their kids that will jeopardize their life, right? So I know, like, just growing up in the city, I know parents that will have to steal, right, to provide for their kids. They know the risk of them stealing could put them in jail, but at the end of the day, their kids are going to have clothes on their back. But they will also go tell their kids, I don't ever want you stealing. No. I'll put you out of my house. I don't like a thief, this and that, right? But they're instilling in you that you realize down the road, because you're already growing up so quick, that yes, stealing is bad. Yes, she stole to provide for me, but she's doing this that way I never have to do this. And that's what my grandma provided for me. She provided those life lessons, no matter what drug she was on, of I'm doing this to help you, that way you never have to live like this. And I'm forever grateful for that.
Fonz, growing up, because I feel like the situation you're in, a lot of people do deal with the mindset of like, you know what your grandmother went through, and you could have easily ignored what she said because she's doing the complete opposite. How you giving me life lessons, and and your eyes could be like, yo, you're doing the complete opposite. I'm not gonna listen to you. Were you a person like growing up? Were you always like every time someone did drop a gem to you, or just talk to you in general, you just soaked up as much knowledge as you can, or when you got older, something clicked like, okay, this is what grandma meant. This is what this family member meant. This is what this cousin meant.
So I'll definitely say, growing up, I wasn't like, oh, this is what that meant. I always took everything in that people said to me, and I always listened to what they said, and like, I thought about it, right? But I didn't fully know what it meant. I was like, all right. And I put it in a treasure chest in the back of my mind. Like, all right. And then as I grew up, when something would happen to me, that moment or that thing someone said to me, I'd be like, oh, this is what that meant. Right? And that's why I love listening to people. Like, as much as I love talking, I listen to everything that everyone says to me, because like I said before, anything can be used as a gem. So I'm like, all right, at some point this is going to be useful. And it's like, as a kid, we don't always understand what our coaches mean of work hard, play together, make sure you support each other, right? And now I understand the deeper meaning of all that. So I'll definitely say, like, I've always stored everything that people said to me, like my grandma said to me. And sometimes when I was younger, I was able to use it. But there's a lot of times that, like, I was always like, dang, I don't really know. But I try not to think of it that way, right? Because my mom was murdered when I was 4, right? I didn't have a dad. My dad could walk in the room right now, I wouldn't know who he is.
Never met him in your life?
Never. I just found out my real reason why I got my name. I got my name because my mom's favorite uncle. But that's because I met my mom's brother in person for the first time this year. Right? I always thought I was named after my dad. No, I was named after my mom's favorite uncle. Right? So it's those things of like, all right, I'm never gonna take it negatively, but now when I know the facts of the real situation, I'm like, all right, now I can really use it.
How were you able to spin the fact that your mother was murdered at 4 and you never met your dad into a positive?
So I'll tell you this right now. My mother's alive. I don't know you guys. I'm not the same Alfonzo Whitehurst. My story is different. I don't go to Utica College. I don't have 2 degrees, right? So now the road turns, right? When everyone grows up, you start off on a straight path, but the things that happen in your life is what veers you off to each side, right? If I grow up with my mother, who knows the person I'll be if I ever move to Baldwinsville, right? If I ever go to Utica College, if I ever get the opportunity to just share my story with other people. Because your story is what is who you are at the end of the day. Your name when you die is all that's left. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's always been my biggest thing of like trying to think of it that way. And I'll say that death isn't easy. Like the 4 years old, you don't really have a lot of memories. But the last memory I have of my mom is we went to her house the Sunday after church with our grandma. We went, we seen her, we gave her a hug. The last words our grandma said to her was, I don't really like this neighborhood anymore. Like, I feel like you should move. Gave our mom a hug, got in the car. And that's the very last time I ever. That is the only interaction that I vividly remember with my mom. Wow. Like, obviously there's photos and everything, but I can't tell you any of those. Just that last day.
And that's interesting that's the one that you remember. Like, it's somewhere in your psyche, the inner Fonz really dug deep to bring back up that memory. Because I'm sure that wasn't there at first. Like, that's something you probably really
it wasn't there at first. Like, I can't even remember the funeral, really. All I know from the funeral is we weren't able to go inside the funeral.
That's interesting.
But that one last time actually seeing her in person is just always vivid in my mind.
At what age, so nothing even remotely close, but my mom left when I was a kid, right? When I was 4, ironically at 4, and the next time I seen her, I probably was like 8 years old. And my mom was very much in my life, right? As I told you, I wasn't allowed to live with my dad because he sold drugs. And I remember at a certain age, it never registered to me like, yo, you don't live with your mom or your dad, and you look around and everyone lives with their mom and their dad. And I remember a certain age where it hurt me. Like, I felt it. Probably was like at 9 or 10, like, yo, I'm really different. Like, I had a great family around me, but just knowing that mother, father love wasn't there with you in the household, I remember that specific moment. When did you, because your mom died at 4, you don't remember much, but at what age did you sit down and say, fuck, I don't have my mom? Or even with your dad too, saying like, damn, my mom died, my dad is not here. When did you really was able to soak in your emotions for that? Or have you ever done it? Or have you just been on straight momentum?
So I've been like on a mixture of momentum, and there's definitely been different times in my life where I'm like, damn, I wish I had my mom because maybe this decision would be different, right? So one of the first times that like really hit me of like, damn, I wish I had my mom was probably when I started playing sports. So I started playing baseball in 3rd grade. My 3rd grade teacher, Miss Curse, and her husband, Mr. Curse, put me on to playing baseball. So I'm used to always going to the park playing with the kids. But the very first baseball game of like seeing everyone's parents actually there and like their parents actually cheering for them would probably be the first time where it hit me of like, damn, I really don't got a single parent out there like supporting. But after initial of like, damn, I don't have a single supporter, I resulted back into like, all right, I gotta find a positive in this though. My friends' parents are out here cheering for me. They've provided different things for me. My teacher is here, her husband is here, and I have these people that like still support me, right? And I'll honestly say my biggest fear in life was always believing in myself, right?
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is believing that I could achieve whatever I wanted to actually achieve, but doing it by myself, right? So I always used to think that I needed like a parent to be successful. I needed someone older to help me guide where I'm going to go. And once I believed that other people believed in me, that's what really got my ball going of, all right, people believe in me. Like, I don't got shit to be afraid of. There's nothing I can lose, nothing that I can forget. like people believe in me, I gotta believe in myself now. And ever since I started believing in myself, like I've just taken over the world as my own.
And at what age do you think you felt believing in yourself that you knew that you could take over the world, just believing in yourself?
Was still at baseball again. It was when I was 12 years old. I actually got an article written about it. It's called Two Swings, Two Winners. So I've always been a person like that, get people into sports. So I got my one boy, Henry Sullivan, into playing baseball with me, right? So Henry developed baseball skills a lot faster than I did. And he developed them after like 1 year. So Henry went from like I that baseball to really good. I'm like, damn, how I'm breaking this nigga, he better than me. Yeah, so I'm like,
I wish I never bought him here.
I'm like, damn, everyone like Henry. I'm like, I brought this nigga here.
I'm his manager, agent.
So one day on the bus, I'm like, all right, only I could tell this nigga I'm better than him. I was like, yo, neither of us hit a home run yet. So first nigga to hit a home run first, they better. Right?
Typical kid shit though.
That's 12-year-old hood nigga shit, right? Home run's the best thing you can do out on the baseball field, right? It's funny because neither of us hit a home run to a playoff game. We're playing each other. He's on the opposite team. He plays first base. I think it's like full count, and I'm shaking up there. Bitch, it's either a strikeout or a solid hit. I had already struck out twice that game. So I'm like, damn, another one coming. Bro, the pitcher pitched it straight down the middle. Wow. I said, good God. But I just hear the kids I just hear my boy from the stand said, it's out of here. But I looked up, I'm like, man, that shit really floating. So then you don't gotta run too fast once you hit the home run. Bitch, I'm fat at 12 years old. I'm already a solid good to 20. I'm like, but Chad,
it's a D1 product right there. Come on.
So I started jogging. I'm happy as mother. Like, yeah, we winning. Walk around first base. I'm like, yeah, got your ass. Right? Dap him up, keep going. So I'm hyped the rest of the game, right? So this is where I knew that like life really has meaning. It's just like good things are just supposed to happen to just great people. So now his bases loaded. We're up by 3. There's 2 outs. Henry's up to bat now. Henry's a solid hitter. He ain't hit no home run yet, so I'm still better than that nigga.
You flexing.
So, but we're already on edge. Like, all right, he can get a solid hit, and they're gonna keep going. Everything count is like 1-1 or something like that. They throw Henry a fastball down the middle. Boom! I'm like, we just look at it. That shit sailing. Our outfielder like trying to track it down. Jump. Boom. Home run. Hit a grand slam to win the game.
Damn. Violated you.
Violated, bro. Right? So I never realized it, but it was like, then as he walked around third base, he said, y'all lost though. Right? So it went from like, I won, but he helped his overall team, right?
Yeah.
But
I was on opposite teams.
Yeah, we was on opposite teams. The first year we were on the same team. The second year when we were 12, we were on opposite teams. So we ended up telling our coaches about the story, and our coach brought it to us. He's like, he writes for the newspaper in Syracuse, the Post-Standard. He's like, you guys are both winners. We just lost. This is my last year of baseball. I'm boo-hooing. Right? So I'm like, dang. So our coach is like, nah, you guys are both winners, right? You won the bet. He overall helped his team win, right? And he named the article 2 Swings, 2 Winners, right? So what happened? Where's the positive and this negative, right? My team lost, right? But I won the overall. I won the bet.
You still achieved the goal.
I achieved the goal. He also achieved the goal, but helped his overall team win, right? And that was when I realized at 12 years old, there's a positive in every negative. Wow. I don't care what it is. You feel me?
Yo, I think the nigga milestone needs a Don DeMarco button or something unique.
We do.
A lot of them.
We do. What do you think it should be though?
I don't know.
Give it to us right now. We're gonna use whatever
Bow.
you say. Bow. Word.
Bow. Just like that.
Cause you guys be talking shit, bro. Like that fire, for real.
Nah, that's a great life lesson.
Final wisdom.
It's interesting, right? So one of the things I've been doing, and it's kind of for this reason, like I just sit down and I'll start writing about my life because I'm trying to be more observant of the things that I've went through and maybe lessons that I've learned but never paid attention to, and it's for that exact reason. Like we go through so many life altering moments in our life, but as a kid, you don't interpret it. But how else, other than a conversation with your friend, are you supposed to remember that? And since all my friends are in Trinidad and we don't have those type of conversations, fuck it. I get in my own mind, write shit down, and hopefully I'll come up with 1 or 2 stories that I completely forgot about.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Word. Like, I just remember the story the other day. Literally my first couple of weeks in high school, right? Me and my friends in a room being wild. Like, we throwing papers at each other. Simple, harmless game. Throwing papers at each other. I throw a piece of paper like this at my friend. My hand on the swing back taps a girl right in the back of her head, bro. Like literally tap. Like
typical Nick
nothing
shit.
crazy. Typical Nick shit. This was the beginning of Nick shit. Simple tap in the back of her head, bro. Swear to God, for 30 minutes, this girl's having a seizure on the floor.
Like a real life seizure?
Seizure, nigga. I
Like
can't
her
breathe.
first one, you slapped her then.
No, yo, word. Ask all my friends. I'm a big nigga, but I'm saying though, I was scared, bro. I thought I killed somebody, and it was from throwing a piece of paper. You feel me? I got suspended. I got kicking off for the football team, all types of shit for this soccer team, for this reason, and that just taught me a lesson. It's like, yo, you really got to be careful because anything could be anything. And me personally, I was saying this before. I'm not responsible at all. And that was just a perfect example of it. Like, you can't be doing shit like that around people. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a fact.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, and we kind of touched on this before, as a motivational speaker, right? I feel like people expect a lot out of you. Like, I know E.T. used to get a lot of shit on YouTube and stuff. Like, oh, what is this dude doing in his life? Like, he's trying to tell me how to, you know what I mean? Do something. And you kind of, Malcolm touched on it. I was trying to make a transition from that. He was like, how did you listen to your grandmother even when she was doing drugs? Like, how were you still open to the message? Because a lot of people are not open to receiving the message from a messenger they don't deem as Jesus. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that as a motivational speaker, knowing that that pressure is going to be on you to be what you're speaking about?
It kind of goes back to like what I was saying earlier. Like, you have to live who you are, right? And I feel like anywhere I go, like, I'm myself, like I was saying before. So no matter if I'm giving a speech or I'm just talking to you as a regular individual, I'm going to give you that same energy. You're going to get 100% Fonz. You're going to get the same love, care, respect, right? So I feel like when people see that as this person is just another human, but they've also have experience and wisdom that can help me further my life, I feel like those are the best motivational speakers that are out there. They're not out there like suit and tie every day. Like E.T. will pull up to a motivational speech in a Nike Tech and his hat, right? But you're getting the real E.T., right? If I'm gonna come give a speech, I can tell you right now, I've done a couple of speeches. This hoodie, pair of sweats or jeans, and some kicks, right? So I'm not gonna give you a fake version of myself. I'm going to give you 100% myself while giving you 100% experiences, right? Books. There are real books. There are fake books, right? That book don't have no experience. That book has a couple of details of experiences, but it doesn't have experience, right? So I'm going to give you who I am 100% of the time without fluffing you up.
Can a motivational speaker only speak from experience? Like, for example, if you was to read this book right now and you learned the crazy principle, can you go teach that to somebody, or is that deemed as being fake or not genuine?
No, I don't think it's deemed as being fake, but I definitely think you have to educate yourself on it before you try to go teach someone, right? And I always say it this way, right? Take a college professor and an elementary teacher, right? Who do you remember more? Elementary teacher or a college professor? Oftentimes and not, right? That sounds crazy to compare. But a professor is a master of that knowledge. A lot of times, what are they doing? You're purchasing a $200 book to teach yourself to take a test that he just gives you. Right? Not every college professor is sitting down with you, teaching you the material thoroughly and showing you how to learn it, how to process it. Where in grade school, hopefully that not every teacher's doing this, but they're teaching you how to do it, how to figure it out, and how to exceed these things. And yes, a grade school and college is two different things, but in both ways, you're supposed to be educating other people. Where one, you're educating someone just because you're a master of the knowledge. You're not really educating them. You're just sharing your information of the knowledge and your thoughts of it, not the full experience of it.
Fonz, so what is the future for Find the Wisdom? Like, what is your big picture goal?
My big picture goal is to try to touch as many people and help people realize, no matter their circumstance, no matter their life goals, is continue to be yourself and find what you're meant to do. People have to find their purpose, right? And right now we're young, so we have time to experience life, right? And there's also people that are older that are getting ready to end one life, but going to another life, the retired life, right? But there's a lot of people that are currently in the middle, whether they're young life or their older life, but not a lot of people are doing what they love. They're not doing what they're passionate about. Yes, money allows you to do things, but money doesn't always provide you happiness, right? I've already done maybe eight speeches already. I haven't got paid a single dime, but I love it. Right? You know you're destined to do what you're supposed to do when you could wake up and do it for free. Until you can find something that you are willing to do for free. Not saying you gotta do it for free every time. So you can find something you could do for free because it's the passion of your love. You're not doing what you love. You're doing just what is providing you money.
And that's why a lot of people who try to get into the podcast game, they get out of it quick because there's no money in it at the beginning. Like, you're gonna be spending a lot of money, if anything.
What about like what are you trying to sell out seats? Like,
so
you gave me a humble answer. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah. So if I'm gonna say anything, is I want to travel.
Okay.
Right. I'm 26 years old. No shawty. That's good.
Respectfully,
right?
Man. That's very good.
Life's good right now. My money's going in my own pockets.
Totally
Call
nice.
me Big Hefe.
Totally nice.
Right? And it's like, this is the time that I have to share with people. And I want to be able to sell out gyms and auditoriums of people of poverty and people struggling to find their way. I want to be able to talk to as many people, whether it's in New York City, whether it's in a closet down the street, or if it's in LA.
You really want to go to LA?
Yeah, we're going to LA with it. We're going wherever this takes me. I'm gonna go.
Where's the money in motivational speaking? Is it only doing shows, or is there different avenues?
So the money is you can do speeches, right? You can become like a life coach, where like people come to you and you lay their life out like where they are right now, and you come up with different plans and goals for them to become successful, right? And I'm looking into that, but I also have goals and things that I want to achieve before I try to help someone else figure out their life.
Okay.
Like, I want to fully shift my life. That way people can see, like, oh, he's done this. Now I'm going to listen to him.
And also, when you're giving that advice, you feel comfortable giving it because it's like, yo, I've been through the fire.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And when you have that experience and you have that knowledge, I feel like that's what helps people buy into what you're really saying. Yes. Right? And like, I can say, I'm a big PE teacher, right? I'm pretty sure we've all had a big PE teacher at one point, or a strength coach, and you'd be like, this fat nigga gonna tell me about running, about fitness, right? But let's hop on the stairs. Let's hop on the jump rope. Let's hop on the dance floor, and I'm gonna smoke your ass. Like,
What are you talking about?
What are you
Stop
talking about?
playing. Stop
Right?
playing.
Right? Like I ain't gonna lie. I still live a dream right now. Play flag football back home.
Respectfully.
You feel me? But people be like, he can't move. Right? Till I come pulling around that corner, body of that, body of man's, and we moving. Leading the block all the way to the end zone, man. It's like, it's flag football, but it's like, I guess I take that back. Take that back. The biggest thing in life is you have to have facts to back up things that you say. A lot of people just be talking bullshit with no experience.
Come on.
Right? So if you have no facts or you have nothing to back up your statement, that's just an opinion. Right? My biggest thing of like everything that has gone on with, like, we could say the election, right? With Biden and Trump is, come out with me with facts. I don't want to hear your motherfucking opinion.
None of that fake news.
A lot of times when people get upset, they don't want to argue no more because they don't got no more facts. They'll call you an idiot. They'll call you dumb. They'll call you this. They'll call you that. But it's like, bro, where's the facts still? I'm still waiting for you to hit me with some knowledge.
I experience that a lot because when I argue, I come with facts. And next, all
Yeah.
right, bro, I'm done. You nigga, you fuck you, nigga. So I know why
I'm
you
done.
saying
You
that.
this, you that. But it's
Word.
like, why we done?
You should want to go. See, I like to
Keep
talk.
coming with more. Yeah. So it's like that's the main thing. And I feel like that's why a lot of people take to motivational speakers, because they have real knowledge, real facts. They have experiences that maybe some people in their life experience, or that's something that they're currently going through that can help someone. So that's why I always say everyone's story is very valuable. Like, your story doesn't have to be drastic to change someone else's life. There's people that go through depression every day that we have no idea, right? But it'll take you sharing your story of having depression to maybe motivate the next person. So overall, can anyone be a motivational speaker or help move someone? Yeah, all it takes is changing one life. Like, I don't care if I don't ever make millions out of being a motivational speaker. If I can change a life in someone, and they can change another life, and they can change another life, the ball's rolling for the world to change slowly. Mm-hmm. Nothing's gonna happen overnight.
And should the first life change be your own life?
Yes, you gotta be able to know yourself and change yourself before you help someone else. Right. A big thing in the world right now is with love. A lot of people want to be in a relationship or seek love because they want to be loved. A lot of people don't love themselves for themselves.
Facts.
Like, I'll go anywhere. You guys know me. You guys see me at Utica College. Boy, I'll take my shirt off, start wilding out in the cafeteria, at Airbnb, walking down the street, because I love myself. Right? And a lot of times people that don't fully love themselves, they'll take that as someone being cocky or being arrogant. It's like, no, you got to have self-love before you go love someone else. And
or ask for someone to love you.
Yeah. So it's like you really have to take the time, and sometimes it just takes you truly being alone. Like, you'll hear a lot of people say, I'm working on myself. But can you give me at least 5 facts of how you've worked on yourself? Mm-hmm. Right? Facts.
What's 5 facts right now? How you been working on yourself?
5 facts I've been working on myself is, since January 4th, I started this diet. I work out every morning now at 5:30. Right? Since January 4th, today is February 11th, I've lost 28 pounds.
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you. I appreciate that. Since starting Find the Wisdom, November 18th was when I fully, like, all right, I'm going to put this on social media. I'm ready to do this all. Since then, I started off speaking to just a couple people at my job. The last 2 weeks, I've spoke to every single health, PE, and facts teacher in the city of Syracuse.
Congratulations.
Right? That's 2. What else have I done? I've had to train myself. Like, I'll honestly say, I haven't worked, like I was saying, I work out every day now at 5:30. I haven't really worked out since I stopped working out at football. Right? Besides that, I would just get up, go straight to work. Now I have to, it's like sacrifice. I got to sacrifice less sleep, go to bed early to get up so I can go work out at 5:30 in the morning. Right? Other things that I've done, I've signed up to actually take my test out. I could be a full certified teacher. Right? I sign up, I take my first test in June. right? Before I was just putting it off, right? Because my biggest thing is, and I say it now, is fear of failure can limit your life, right? My biggest fear that I had before was I didn't want to get to the final step of being a teacher and fail the test. So through this journey of like challenging myself and changing different things that I do, I gotta realize that, bro, I just gotta take the test. So that's another thing that I've done. And the last thing I've done is just reach out to my family more. Like before, I'll honestly say that like growing up in poverty, like the hardest thing is you really have to just focus on yourself. Like all of college, I didn't really talk to my siblings that often. Like I would talk to them, but it would be like once every 3 months. Mm-hmm. So now every week I try to contact my siblings at least once or twice a week. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I love you. Right? Just because now that I've actually been able to move myself out of the situation that I was before to really help better them and better more people around me, I had to become selfish and realize, all right, I can't bring them with me right now. I have to just focus on myself in order to go back and help them.
Fonz, we getting short on time. This is definitely something people want to hear. Why UC and what was going on in the 209 Bando?
Why UC?
Why UC?
So honestly, I almost didn't come to UC, but UC gave me the opportunity to be in the HEOP program. It's higher education opportunities program, so it pays for 5 years of college, and the most you'll leave with is $25,000 in debt. Right? It's for kids in poverty, and you have kids in poverty or just don't have like a lot of money to pay for school, and you have to be within like a certain grade requirement. So it's like, all right, you've been kind of struggling with school, you don't really have money, but we want to give you this opportunity. So Utica gave me that opportunity to be in that program first out of any school, because honestly I didn't even know I was going to college when I was young. And so when I got there, I was like, I can go to college, only $25,000. I don't know how I'm going to pay it back, but that sounds better than everybody else, $80,000. Mm-hmm. So I took the opportunity, and also football, right? So as coming from the inner city, honestly, if I didn't have football, I wasn't going to college. So football ultimately changed my life, and being able to play at Utica College and meet all my close friends. Shout out to the Bando.
Shout out to all the guys.
Right. And this is why I'm going to tell y'all why the Bando is the best friend group to ever walk Utica College, right?
Come on, talk that go-to. Wait, your friend group is hotter?
Cap. But let me tell you, right? Let me give you facts. What I say, people love facts. The Bando, Alfonzo Whitehurst, Mr. Utica College, fact.
Come on.
Shout out Coach Fonz. Ryan Burnett, one of the top Utica College all-time running back, fact.
Who do he have
blocking?
Who do he have blocking for him? Who do he have blocking? Who did they have blocking for them?
Oh, they had Ryan Alfonso.
Thank you.
But let me finish.
Wait, hold on.
Let me finish the whole group.
Let finish.
Chancellor Harris, all-time corner.
Eli Better.
We had the all-time corner. Fuck you talking
Come
about?
on, Eli Better. Come on. Position for position, we running y'all down.
No.
Fonz or Nick? Keanu. You want Keanu?
Man, we know
Come on, number one.
We know all-time leader record. Oh, shit.
But hold on. Y'all got an 8-time All-American in track and all-time kick returner? No.
Who was blocking for him? Thank you. Look at Nicodemus' highlight tape. How many pulls was his touchdowns?
All of my pulls. A lot of time.
Thank you.
I see them.
And we can't forget Silent Bob, TJ. TJ was there for moral support. You feel me? He our white boy and Joey from the block. We had to add the diversity to our group.
There we
you feel me? That's what made our group unique. We had diversity.
Y'all are the only black group that lived with white people, right?
Yeah, we had that diversity factor.
There we go.
Had to bring it in.
So y'all was the best group?
For a fact.
Football wise, we definitely had it, but like as you guys were legendary. Everybody know the Bando.
Yep.
Y'all
from the
Sodexo
workers to the presidents to campus safety.
That's the Bando.
Y'all was really plugged in. Y'all was UC.
But on what level though?
We talking cheeks or just in general?
Oh, here we go.
This argument a lot of times.
All around dynamic level. We were.
You cute.
We all had great groups, man. It was some great. UC was a great school.
Yes.
I think we all don't regret going there at all. I think
No. Definitely when you're at Utica, you like, damn, it's cold here. There ain't shit here. We got 1.5 bars. Anything go down
0.5 bars.
So it's like but the unique thing about our group is we are all in the Summer Institute program. So we all met each other the very first day, very first day of campus. We all met each other, and then that just grew our bond from there. And we're brothers till this day.
Right.
And it's very unique of everyone that you meet at Utica College and like the journey that brings you to like where we are right now in our life. Like Ryan, I met Ryan because Ryan was another defensive lineman. Okay. I sent Ryan out on a date one day. I told Ryan that the date was a certain price. Ryan decided to get dessert. I didn't add in dessert.
Tell the real story.
So
tell the real story.
So the real story, Ryan asked where he could take his shorty where he could go out to eat. So I was like, go to Delmonico's, right? So he went to Delmonico's. Delmonico's expensive. He's like, I should be good with $70. And I was like,
more than enough. He said you could buy dessert and 2 appetizers, right?
That's what
violated my boy.
Right? That's what he said.
But this is 4 days into knowing Ryan, right? But a big fella still. We got really close because both playing D-line. My dorm was Burstone across the street. I'm trying to walk my fat ass across the street. So slept in Ryan's spare bed. So that's how we got close. So I'm telling him, go here. $70 would be more than enough. Ryan texted me why he out at a date like
20 minutes into dinner, bro.
Bro said, I thought this was gonna be enough. I was like, it is. What's
you know,
wrong?
you in college. What you got is that's it.
That's it.
You got nothing else.
Hell yeah.
That $70 is all I had for the 2 weeks, but I had to splurge to go out to dinner with my shorty for her birthday. So this nigga Fonz like, $70 is fine. dinner, appetizer. That shit was already at $100. Yeah,
you felt emasculated. I'm sure.
Violated.
But this where the real part came in, right?
Yeah.
He texted me, he said that, so I'm like, all right. I low-key set him up for failure, but success at the same time. So he like, I don't got enough. So what did I do? Without him even asking, he just said, I don't got enough. So I went to the ATM, got cash. I texted him and said, just tell her I'm picking up a to-go order. I walk up, I'm like, pretend like I wasn't expecting to see them. They're like, what's up? Like, you guys getting dinner? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting takeout, da-da-da-da-da. Slide him the extra money.
Yeah, he dabs me up with cash, bro. And I didn't even know him. I didn't even know him. I only met him I only knew him for 4 days. This nigga dabs me up for cash, bro. And I was on the verge of quitting. Like, I played defensive line. I didn't know nobody. I had no friends.
You was about to quit?
Because all the football players had roommates. I picked some nigga that I met at orientation, so I had no roommate, nothing. So I was by myself the whole time. Like, if it wasn't for Fonz, I'll tell that story all the time, bro. Like, Fonz really, like, that just speaks on his character and who he is as a person. Like, he didn't know me from nothing. And he put his money out his own pocket and gave it to me so I didn't look stupid. And on top of it, he didn't say, I'm giving you this money, give it back. He just dabbed me up like he didn't even know me. Like, hold it down. He just dabbed me up and I had cash in my pocket and I had enough to pay for my dinner, bro.
And that's one of the things
I was my best friend ever since.
That's one thing I was going to say earlier. I feel like your upbringing and kind of not having that structure, you appreciate relationships and bonds with people more than the average person.
Oh,
because you've seen what it was like not to have it.
100%. No matter what I go through with someone, I'm always gonna cherish that person and love that person. Like we got in a lot of at the D line.
Both of y'all motherfuckers. That was
for real.
So it's like,
I don't know if Ryan want to talk about it, but we was sworn enemies for a long time.
My interview. Just wait.
We're gonna hold that
Just
down.
wait.
We're gonna hold that down. Yo, unfortunately, we are out of time, bro. These are one of these interviews I feel like we could literally
talk forever,
4 hours. Yeah. But when we get our own studio, we gonna work that out.
That sound good.
We gonna break Rogan record. We probably go for 5 hours. And
it just get business booming.
But Fonz, thank you for coming through, bro. this was I know everyone that watches is going to be extremely motivated. You really dropped some gems. And one thing I wanted to say to you, and I'm sure you know this, let's take it back to David Goggins. He talks about the cookie jar, right? I feel like with you talk about you're on your weight loss journey right now. I feel like when you body that and now you Fonz with a 6-pack abs, I think that's all the marketing you need for finding your wisdom, and it's going to be the biggest shit in the world.
That's a fact.
You know that, right?
That's a fact.
We need a button. We need a button, bro. I'm telling you.
But you on that journey, though. Don't stress it. Don't rush yourself. You're going to get there. And another great part about what you're doing as a motivational speaker is I think it gets better over time, because you talked about experience. When you're 40, you have a lot more experience. You got a lot more cookies in your jar. Mm-hmm. And now you're really able to talk to motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you and Ryan. Ryan, thanks for the whiskey. This was a great episode. I enjoyed it. And ladies and gentlemen, the Nick and Mount Show.
Kodak coming soon.
Kodak interview coming soon. Come on, let's keep that the logo.
Shout out to Find Your Wisdom.
Bow.